What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven here with your afternoon snap, and today I am going to play Battle 5 of an Infinity Conquest here for an Infinity avatar, going with the action figure cable variant avatar that I will leave a code in the video description for how to get this if you do not already have this avatar and variant. And I'm going to be playing an Invisible Woman First Steps plus Dakin deck that I've been talking about all week with the release of Jocasta. I think that this deck is really strong and really fun, and it's what got me here. Also, speaking of codes, I'm doing a giveaway for people that comment. I'll have more information about that at the end of this video, but I am now doing giveaways for PAX bundles and for season passes. Every season, Marvel Snap is going to give me 2 season passes to give away to commenters, so yeah, I can more reliably start advertising that, and I will probably start trying to give away season passes for future seasons ahead of time. That way I'm not giving out my season passes at the end of a season, but rather allowing people to get the season passes immediately as the season starts, and then commenting next season will give you season passes for November, if all of that makes sense. This looks like a reasonable curve to me, nothing super exciting. And my opponent is playing Agamotto here. All right, we'd like Nico to potentially copy Invisible Woman. Yeah, nothing. I'm just thinking about getting Nico out of my hand so that way I can more effectively use Moon Girl down the line. Because I'm going to go Invisible Woman into Frigga, into Invisible Woman again on turn 5. And I guess that's all I'm doing this game. So I guess I actually need to save Nico to potentially copy a Sunspot or a Athena, so that way I can more effectively use this Invisible Woman. All right, Triskelion's going to fill her up. And next turn we'll play Frigga, fill my hand again. So we're going to lose a few card draws, so will my opponent. It's going to make it definitely a little bit trickier to grab tabs on Athena. One thing that's interesting, just by showing my opponent Invisible Woman here, they're not exactly going to know what I am playing. This might even throw them off the scent. And if we draw Jocasta next turn, then I guess I'll make a copy of Jocasta instead. But I do need to play Nico this turn, actually. Ah, shoot. That is a bad one. Alright, well, I do have a different option I could take now. I could Nico and destroy Lasher, and then play Sunspot. This will draw me 2 more cards, maybe finding me Jocasta, maybe finding me Athena. Could be a reasonable play for next turn, or I could Athena the Frigga, or Frigga the Frigga the Athena, or Frigga the Sunspot. Sure, Sunspot into the Vault is going to be reasonable. And then I'll need to find a way to win one other location. Galacta into the Vault. This is a Galacta that is actually a part of my opponent's deck. All right, and then I do find Jocasta. That is pretty good, actually. So I think the play here now is Athena, with the hope that I will Prodigy this Athena if I need more points over here, or, I mean, I'm hoping to draw Quinjet so that way I can still soak a little bit of energy into Sunspot. I think we can probably snap, though. My opponent has not done anything super impressive just yet, but, I mean, with Surge and Galacta, they could be eyeing... I mean, we could just get Galactus right now in Thunderbolt's Tower, and we would certainly lose the game. They are going to accept the snap. They're going to Images on Galacta. That is pretty big. How many points can we get into the vault? We can have 4 end-of-turn effects. 4 times 2 is 8. I will need to sink 3 energy. I can't win this. Yeah, the best thing I can do now is just play a Frigga, and then I would need to give this location plus 12 by passing with Sunspot. They will probably... I mean, they could just battle for this location. We're going to have to retreat, unfortunately. We just do not have the power. I think that snap might have been a little bit foolish. We can probably come up with bigger and better combos, but I didn't mind the pressure of a 2-cube game, how much that could put on my opponent, especially before I show them Jocasta. They might have a little bit better of an idea of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do some degenerate things, but unfortunately, not this game. No degenerate things in store for my opponent this game, so we'll retreat for 2 cubes. I imagine this is Silver Surfer, but it could be anything. These are just good cards. That's all we know so far. All right. Bullseye Dakin is fine. As a start here, we could play Bullseye on turn 3, Moon Girl on turn 4. If we draw a Quinjet, that's always really good. You'll hear me say that a few times in this video, I'm sure, because Quinjet is basically always the card you're looking to draw here with this deck. Wow. Or I could use Moon Girl to grab another copy of Invisible Woman. But then I don't have the time to play it because I haven't drawn the Quinjet. So we're just going to play Bullseye here. I'm going to sneeze. Winds of Watum. As long as that's not on my Dakin, I'm happy. Bullseye can actually discard Sunspots, which is really funny. Oh. And now I've got a different choice to make. Turn 3. Turn 4. Turn 5. Playing 2 of these on turn 6. I think, unfortunately, we're pivoting to that. Well, yeah, we're pivoting. All right. Totally fine. Oh no, I messed up. I need to play Jocasta into the Invisible Woman. Oh, no, no, no. This is not a good showing for me now, is it? Dang. I really screwed it there. My opponent has not played any cards this game. So maybe there's a chance here, but that does not look good. We can use Moon Girl to grab another copy of the Marimasa Shard. Plus play a Sunspot at a different location next turn. I'm going to snap. Despite making that really bad play, my opponent has not done anything yet. We could actually get a lot of points in the compound if that's the location that they're going to wind up battling for this turn with their extra energy. So I think this kind of locks them into a not great play. All right, sure. I could have held on to the Sunspot. Maybe I should have. What do they have here? Mockingbird plus Mobius. That is not good. Now, I need to draw Nico or Quinjet here. Yeah, this is also not good. But if we play Moon Girl here, double this up to 16, and then soak 2 more energy. Sure, I'm battling for all 3 locations. My opponent has not made a play yet this game. That we just have to punish them for that. I'm sure this will be fine. They have Prio. They could Eliath me in Wakanda. If that's a card that they're playing. Don't even know what they're playing. Juggernaut to knock me out of the compound, plus Surge in Wakanda. Nope, that's going to be a Cosmic Victory. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. This one seemed a little bit spicy, to be sure. I am just like barely winning this one, but we do still manage to take my opponent for 4 cubes. I'm kind of curious what my opponent... I mean, my opponent's playing a real deck. seems like potentially, no, they're pretty low collection level. All right, well, fair enough, I suppose. That is why I always say Conquest is the softest format. Even Battle 5 of an Infinity Conquest, you can get somebody with a pretty low collection level. But hopefully this is still an interesting showcase for this deck. You don't get too many runs at the Infinity Conquest, and I thought it would be fun to showcase this here in a video. I'm just debating because, yeah, I mean, we have to take the extra card draw off Nico and Snap here, but we're currently poised to destroy the first Quinjet that we have drawn in the match. But I will destroy it if we don't draw Athena or Sunspot next turn, and potentially even if I do. Drawing cards is just good. My opponent's got a Quinjet to go with their Agamotto stuff. They also have all that Mockingbird stuff there too. Not going to give them the Quinjet. Machine World, a little bit of an awkward location. And drawing 2, yeah, we're just hoping to hit Dakin or Jocasta. We draw Sunspot and Athena. Okay. Sure, Winds of Watum, and then we're going to come right on back. Hoping to draw an activator right now would be fantastic. So I guess now I'm going Dakin. Next turn I'm playing Frigga. Hoping to draw Bullseye or Jocasta. Yeah, I think we're going to get there because we drew 2 cards off Nico. I think we'll be alright. Could also start to give my opponent some of these cards in Machine World, but certainly doesn't make sense to do that while the Great Web is still active. And I actually am incentivized to play to the Great Web as much as possible, so that way my opponent will have their cards move to the Great Web, and then we'll beat them with our scaling cards here. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, next turn I have to draw Jocasta or Bullseye, but, like, there's not many other cards left in my deck. I suppose I could draw Invisible Woman first steps and feel all right about it, but not fantastic. And yeah, let's see what we draw. Bullseye. Sure thing. We can give my opponent Bullseye and probably play... I don't really want to give my opponent Athena, but I don't really want to give it -2 points as well. If we give him Athena... maybe they play a 1-cost Athena plus like an Agamotto next turn. I'll just play Athena here, and I'll play Bullseye here. I'm trying to figure out if there's any way that I could use Prodigy on Dakin. And I don't think there is. I think I could use Prodigy on Athena, though, next turn. And that's fine. Not even fantastic, just fine. But I think we're going to be just fine here with a pair of Dakins and Marumasa Shards. I haven't seen my opponent do anything super impressive just yet. This turn they also have to make a decision between giving me a card in Machine World and shrinking a card's power in Thunderbolt Tower. They are going to give me a buffed up Blobby. Wow, okay. So we could totally pivot here and just play a Blob. Blob can move now. That's really funny. And we have Prio. That's also worth considering. My opponent has probably won the Great Web, but is that guaranteed? We can put plus 12 points. We can put plus 15 points over there. It's not going to be a win. Oh, wow. I think my opponent's actually looking pretty good. Huh. Yeah, so we can make this up to 16, but I cannot get another Marumasa Shard out of this deck, and I would have needed a Quinjet in play, unfortunately, to allow me to play the Moon Girl alongside the Dakin. Even that might not have been good enough. I can 50-50 this Blob. It seems fine. Let's play it. There's so much mind games here. I mean, maybe it's not a 50-50. Maybe my opponent will be able to play cards to both locations, now that I think about it. Blob is a card my opponent is playing in their deck, I just now realized. We can get some info here. Agamotto, Shang-Chi. Alright, we're tied up in cubes. Definitely don't want to count my opponent out just because they are low collection level. Juggernaut would have won my opponent the game as well, because Juggernaut can move Blob. So, yeah, wouldn't want to lose to that. They would just Juggernaut in Machine World, and I would always be losing, right? Okay, yeah, good retreat then. Good retreat. Want to definitely remember the Juggernaut and the Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, not really going to be a problem, to be totally honest. I have to imagine they're playing some like Mr. Sinisters or Broods to make this Mockingbird work, right? Jocasta, Dakin, Bullseye, Frigga. I feel like I could snap with this Dakin, Bullseye, Frigga line, to be honest. We're going to get in early in the kiln. Sure, I'm going to snap. I think I've already won the kiln. Don't know what the locations are going to be. There is... Oops. There is an interesting thing about this early snap because my opponent has not been respecting my snaps, and fair play to them. Twice I've snapped and retreated, right? But my opponent has not been retreating to my snaps, so that makes the early snaps a little bit less useful. The purpose of the early snaps is to force your opponent to retreat with little information. I might go Bullseye, Dakin into Rocket Pad now. So that way I can Frigga the Dakin and get even more value out of that. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Huh. I think because of Sakaar, I actually want to play Dakin here now. Or here, because it's not gonna. I'm not battling for Rocket Pad. Yeah, I play Dakin in case Sakaar gives me Frigga. Gives me Prodigy, well, I've lost out on some value. If it gives me the Maru Masa Shard, that is actually a bit of a bummer. We get Jocasta. Sure, well now I don't have to play Bullseye until the final turn, and they no longer have access to Juggernaut. That is all really good. I can Frigga into Rocket Pad or into Kiln. I don't feel like I need the extra power in Kiln. Let's just play into Rocket Pad, keep them honest. Next turn we play Dakin here, following turn we play Bullseye Prodigy here. No room for Moon Girl. What if I draw Quinjet at some point? I'll play here. This is fine. Cool. I get +1 point on Frigga. That might not be super useful, but like I said, it might keep them honest. This is easily going to be able to win the Kiln. I'm not worried about that. And we want to Dakin. So that way next turn we can Prodigy the Dakin, and we're going to play the Bullseye in the Jocasta location. My opponent doesn't have access to Juggernaut, so I think we're safe to go all in here. And this is a pretty tricky line that I've never... Ooh, all locations are legal for one night only. Invisible Woman first steps. Are we going to get the Bullseye just naturally out? War Machine. This is a Storm War Machine deck. Was not expecting that. But I think we're going to be all right, even though we just lost a Maru Masa Shard. That is a bummer. Don't get me wrong. But we're still battling for all 3 locations with 16-point Dakins here. I think we're going to be all right. Blob, War Machine. I mean, I think it's a Storm deck. It's definitely a wacky deck, if we're being honest here, right? Doesn't mean I want to get cocky. Hubris has always been my downfall. But I do think we're looking all right. If we lose this one, we'll have to rattle off the next 3, but I can handle that as well. My opponent, I feel like, is just going to play a big blob into Sakaar, which is fine. What else could they have? They could have some amount of Agamotto spells, but they cannot images the Juggernaut. That would have been something to concern myself with. A scenario where I lose to them creating more Juggernauts with images of Icon. I don't think that my opponent has played any skills this game. Just a turn 1 Quinjet, turn 4 Juggernaut, turn 4 Galacta. Yeah, it's a big blob, but not much else. I activated Jocasta, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. We're going to discard 2 shards plus a Quinjet and grab a win with a pair of Dakins to put my opponent down to 2 cubes. Honestly, I will give a shout out to some of my other content that I am probably putting out today alongside whenever I put this video out, because I will include clips from like the best games that got me to this point. I'll do a little bit of a highlight reel with this deck because I don't think that this one has been as exciting. I will probably still post it just in like the Saturday, Sunday slot. Throw it out there. Throw the slop out there. Yeah, let's throw Athena down into this location. Next turn we can frig Athena. That's really all we can do. Unless we draw an activate card next turn, or a Dakin, I suppose. I have not yet had a Quinjet yet either. That's probably partially why it doesn't feel like we found any fun high roll moments. Okay, Dakin is good. Sure. It's a little bit of a bummer because I'd love to play Frigga on turn 5 after playing Dakin on turn 4, but that just doesn't make sense on this curve. So we're going to play this just because then Frigga would get to copy a big Dakin, but it's fine enough. My opponent's somewhat likely. So what's like the big combo that their deck does? We've seen most of their cards at this point. There's only one card in my opponent's deck that we haven't seen, and it is because we have seen Agamotto. We have seen Mobius. I guess it's just a tech deck, really, right? Nothing super fancy. All right, let's Frigga. Grab the Dakin. Next turn, we Bullseye. Then turn 6, we play Dakin plus Prodigy. Yep. Looking good. Opponent could break me up somehow with a Juggernaut into Stark Industries this turn. That's not going to be that big of a deal, though, to be honest. I will try to battle for priority. This is not a Juggernaut. This is my opponent's final card. Oh, no, this is a Temporal Manipulation. Easy enough. And I will be playing Bullseye into Isle of Silence with the hope that that gives me Prio. Ooh. Sure. That doesn't do anything. Still fun, though. Yeah, next turn I can play Dakin for 1 cheaper. I don't think that's going to turn on Moon Girl, but it will actually a little bit. I could play Moon Girl and play her in a different location than Prodigy, because I already have way more than enough points in Stark Industries to win that location with a 6 power Dakin. That'll be a 48 power Dakin at the end of the game. So I'm good over here, and just being able to spread my Moon Girl, spread my points out a little bit, it's useful. It's nothing crazy, but it'll do. And I think this'll do for this match. This is, so right now you see I've got almost the entire deck on the orange spiral border. Some cards have bananas. You might not have noticed. Sorry to break the illusion there. But yeah, some cards have bananas, and that's actually great for me too. Now I can just play the Prodigy here. Getting a little bit of whiplash but we are looking good, I have to imagine. So yeah, if I play this Dakin... Oh, Mobius. Sure thing. Let's still play this Dakin here, play this Prodigy here, and then discard 3 Marumasa shards. Sure, yeah, no Quinjet. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, just that some of my cards have banana backgrounds because I haven't unlocked that, but I'm enjoying this deck so much that I think I might use borders on it. I have a bunch of gold metallic borders from Deadpool's Diner redo, and I will potentially use those on this deck because I have so much fun playing it. It is so strong. I don't know if this was the best example of that, but we were still able to earn an Infinity Conquest win. We are just going to claim our avatar. I think I do still have a few. This might have been my first Infinity Conquest ticket that I spent this season. I'm going to try to do this video again. So here we are. Let's see how it goes. Playing the exact same deck as in yesterday's video. I did think about adding some other activate cards to it. I've seen a cool deck with Jocasta and Omega Sentinel that I think I would like to try eventually, but again, this is the deck that got me here, so this is the deck that I'm going to play because I feel the most comfortable with recognizing the patterns and when to snap and when to retreat. So, how do we like this starting hand? Sunspot and Bastion is something that I didn't really get to play with too much in yesterday's video. I think we might be able to go for that here. We'll need a different ability on Nico, but I might dump that on turn 2, just so that way we can guarantee get copies of both Sunspot and Invisible Woman from this Bastion over in Crown City. Looks good to me to start off with. We could check out my opponent's collection level. All right. We've got a real opponent in this video. That's what we like to see. Zenla! Whoa, free Bullseye and free Red Guardian to take out the Bullseye immediately. That might cause a snap for my opponent. Little do they know, I'm not actually caring too much about the Bullseye with this specific loadout that we have. Let's play Nico into the unknown location. And I do believe we're going to plan on playing Invisible Woman, Bastion, and then the final turn, like turn 5, we play Invisible Woman plus Jocasta. Turn 6, I might just play a Sunspot and then soak up a bunch of energy. I think this could work out fairly well here. I think I'm going to snap before I drop Invisible Woman next turn. We'll see what location number 3 is, if I messed up by playing a card here, or if I get rewarded, it's Project Pegasus. That is pretty gravy, baby. So now what I could do, oh, I messed up by putting too many cards here. Huh. That's tricky. I mean, it feels like I should spend my energy the most efficient way possible, but that could just mean playing Bastion next turn, right? Do this, set myself up for a Bastion next turn, locking myself out of Crown City, but drawing 3 cards. That'll give me 6 cards in hand. Oh, I should have snapped. I snapped too late. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. What does my opponent play here? Lasher. Sure. And I didn't get the Frigga bonus, but I think that's still fine. Ooh, Prodigy too. No, we play Bastion here. Then next turn we play Jocasta, Invisible Woman. The final turn we do have an opportunity to play a Prodigy for an additional Jocasta over in Zenla. But this is certainly the play this turn. My opponent accepts the snap, and what do they have? They could have a Killmonger. This is a tech deck. They have Jocasta as well. Oh, for Lasher. Sure, they're snapping back. They like what they see. But so do I, for right now. That's right, this has to be Jocasta, then Invisible Woman. Alright, so this will give us 4 Invisible Women, which will mean that we have 8 end of turns, I believe, is how that works. So 8 times 4 would be 32 points on all of my sunspots. It's probably going to be better than an additional Jocasta. But we can see what comes to fruition here. Ooh, multiple scarlet spiders. All right, I like what my opponent is doing. But I think we're going to be all right here. I think we are going to be all right if we just play this. Now, if I play Prodigy, I'm only soaking up 1 energy. That is not much at all. But 2 Jocastas is a lot more triggers. It would then be 1, 2. Actually, it's only 1 more Invisible Woman trigger because I'm not going to be able to activate this. All right, we're going Sunspot, and then we are passing, soaking up. Oh, let me activate all my cards. Oh my gosh. That would have been the craziest way to lose a game of Marvel Snap, but I do believe that this will win, and this is an 8-cuber, so in fact, this is just going to get tacked on to the end of the previous video, because this is going to be such a short match instead of a long battle like the last one. But I do believe that we've won with both sunspots being able to grab 32 points. I don't know. Now I'm looking like 32 points is not going to be enough. Now, my opponent's already activated their Lasher, so 32 points will put me over the top in Crown City and Project Pegasus. Not close. Not close. That's the weird thing with this deck. I was talking about this with some other Marvel Snap creators, and I think I may have brought this up in the previous video. If not, I was thinking about maybe putting it in the YouTube short, but I'll just say it right here. A lot of opponents are just missing on-board kills with this deck. This was not an on-board kill, but my opponent knew that I had Sunspot. I created it with Bastion. So it's about as on-board as you can get. It's possible to figure out how many end of turns I'm going to have. Not everybody can figure that out because they don't understand all of the math behind it, but this is not the first time that I've beaten a Jocasta opponent. Now, this isn't a Jocasta Invisible Woman opponent, but I surprised a Jocasta Invisible Woman opponent with playing Jocasta Invisible Woman and then just passing on turn 6. That's definitely going to be a YouTube short, actually, because, yeah, that was so interesting. So take a look at that, and I'll talk more about that in this one. But yeah, this is just going to get thrown on to the end of the previous video because that was a super quick Infinity Conquest win. And with that, that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace. To enter into my giveaway, there are 3 things that you need to do. The first is subscribe to this YouTube channel. The second is leave a comment on any of my videos. This season, every comment will give you an additional entry into the giveaway. Limit 1 per video, but you can comment on all of the videos that I upload throughout this season. And the third thing that you have to do is join my Discord. And the reason that I need you to do that is so that way I can contact you if you win, because YouTube comments, you don't always get the notifications for things like that. So join my Discord, leave a comment on all of my videos, and subscribe for more Sweet Marvel Snap.